Alright, we pursue the series de la main à la pâte, studying the book of First Kings. We are now in chapter 16 and we begin to read from the first verse. Then the word of the Lord came to Jehu, the son of Hanani, against Baasha, saying, Forasmuch as I exalted thee out of the dust, and made thee prince over my people Israel, and thou hast walked in the way of Jeroboam, and hast made my people Israel to sin, to provoke me to anger with their sins. Behold, I will take away the posterity of Baasha and the posterity of his house, and will make thy house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat. Him that dieth of Baasha in the city shall the dog eat, and him that dieth of his in the fields shall the fowls of the air eat. Now the rest of the acts of Baasha and what he did and his might, and are they not written in the book of the Chronicle of the kings of Israel? So Baasha slept with his fathers and was buried in Tirzah, and Elah his son reigned in his stead. And also by the hand of the prophet Jehu the son of Hanani came the word of the Lord against Baasha and against his house, even for all the evil that he did in the sight of the Lord, in provoking him to anger with the work of his hands, in being like the house of Jeroboam, and because he killed him. In the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Elah the son of Baasha to reign over Israel in Tirzah 2 years. And his servant Zimri, captain of the half of his chariots, conspired against him as he was in Tirzah, drinking himself drunk in the house of Erzah, steward of his house in Tirzah. And Zimri went in and smote him and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned in his stead. And it came to pass when he began to reign, as soon as he sat on his throne, that he slew all the house of Baasha. He left me not one that pissed against a wall, neither of his kinsfolks, nor of his friends. Thus did Zimri destroy all the house of Baasha, according to the word of the Lord which he spake against Baasha by Jehu the prophet. For all the sins of Baasha and the sins of Elah his son, by which they sinned, and by which they made Israel to sin, in provoking the Lord God of Israel to anger with their vanities. Now the rest of the acts of Elah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? In the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, did Zimri reign 7 days in Tirzah, and the people were encamped against Gibbeton, which belonged to the Philistines. And the people that were encamped heard say, Zimri hath conspired, and hath also slain the king. Wherefore all Israel made Omri the captain of the host, king over Israel that day in the camp. And Omri went up from Gibbeton, and all Israel with him, and they besieged Tirzah. And it came to pass, when Zimri saw that the city was taken, that he went into the palace of the king's house, and burned the king's house over him with fire, and died. For his sins which he sinned in doing evil in the sight of the Lord, in walking the way of Jeroboam, and in his sin which he did to make Israel to sin. Now the rest of the acts of Zimri and his treason that he wrought, are they not written in the book of the Chronicle of the kings of Israel? Then were the people of Israel divided in 2 parts. Half of the people followed Tibni, the son of Gainet, to make him king, and half followed Omri. But the people that followed Omri prevailed against the people that followed Tibni, the son of Gainet. So Tibni died, and Omri reigned. In the 31st year of Asa, king of Judah, began Omri to reign over Israel 12 years, 6 years reigned in Tirzah. And he bought the hill Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shemer, owner of the hill Samaria. But Omri wrought evil in the eyes of the Lord, and did worse than all that were before him. For he walked in all the way of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and in his sin wherewith he made Israel to sin, to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger with their vanities. Now the rest of the acts of Omri which he did and his might that he showed, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Omri slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son reigned in his stead. In the 28 years of Asa king of Judah began Ahab the son of Omri to reign over Israel. And Ahab the son of Omri reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. And it came to pass, as he had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him, and reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. And Ahab made a grove, and Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him. And in his day did Hiel the Bethlehemite build Jericho. He laid the foundation thereof in Abiram, his firstborn, and set up the gates thereof in his youngest son Sechub, according to the word of the Lord which he spake by Joshua the son of Nun. First King chapter 16, just like we said, we are in the second section, we can say, of the book of First King. Second section that begins from chapter 12 to chapter 16. And now we are studying especially the life of a few kings of Israel, Jeroboam his son, Baasha his son, and the next that will follow them, who will be Ahab, but we'll talk about him. In this story, where does it begin? We saw in the last chapters how Jeroboam was king, then he had his child, and God took away the kingdom from him and gave it to someone else, Baasha. And the Bible said that in the same way, now in this chapter, Baasha will commit the same bad sins that Jeroboam did. And that's why, in the same way, God will take away the kingdom of Baasha. And it will be taken away in the hand of his son, Elah. And Elah will be killed by someone else who is called Zimri, because Zimri did a conspiracy against Elah, and Zimri will kill everyone of the family of Baasha, or of the family of Elah. And this was the fulfillment of a prophecy that God gave by the mouth of Jehu, the prophet. So everyone will be killed of this family that was king. And what will happen now, when the people saw that Zimri was king, they decided to put another king, and this king will be Omri. And there will be a fight against, and when this will happen, Zimri will go in his house, in the king's house, and will kill himself there and will burn the house of the king. Then there will be a fight against Omri, that we speak, and another man, Tibni, and half people will be with Omri to put him like a king, and half will be with Tibni, to put him king. And at the end, Tibni will die, and Omri will be the king. And the same Omri will have a son, and his son's name is Ahab. And this will be the story of all the next chapters that are coming, the next section that is coming in this book of First Kings. A few nuggets now in this story. I love the beginning of the chapter. If we look at the second verse. For as much as I exalted thee of the dust and made thee prince over my people. This is what the Lord said to Baasha by the mouth of Jehu. That means that God is able to raise people from the dust. So if you are faithful in the least, God will give you much more. And that's why maybe I am making now video, whereas a few people or maybe no one is looking right now the video. But it gives me a lesson to be faithful in the few, so that God can give you more. So it is good to have this in mind every time, just like sometimes it's written, God took David that was behind, that was looking after the earth, and God saw him, and God decided to raise him up to be the king over Israel, because God saw that he was faithful in the least. So that is a very good lesson to learn, and to be faithful, to do the maximum that we can do in the least things, so that God can bless us and give us more in the time to come. All right, be blessed, and we see ourselves again for the next section that will be talking about Ahab mainly.